Hello, hello. Testing, testing. One, two, three. Can you hear me? So, let's get into it. Not planning to be on here for too long. Um, Red day for me. Days like today make me second guess everything and wonder if I'll ever make money again. Um, red day today. Timing was off. Ideas were decent and just wasn't happening in the time frame I was looking for. And then going into tomorrow, I've got super minimal on watch. I don't have a ton of high conviction ideas, so likely maybe a light day or no trade day tomorrow. So CTMX can start here. We had this where each day week opens get bought. So I buy versus this higher low trend, assuming week opens get bought and this thing stays heavy. Small loss, but cut it and managed it well. GRYP. Jeez. My dog's going nuts. Was a day one runner. Failed for the last 3 days, and then we had a little backside bounce here. Straight up parabolic. Depending on what time frame you use, I was looking at the 2 minute, and it looked pretty vertical with volume starting to pick up. So I reacted into a stuff move, shorted on the first bar to make a new low, and it just wasn't failing VWAP, so I covered. And was a decent cover because it went higher and then ended up inevitably going lower. But again, just timing is off, and the way in which these trades are happening is not ideal. NXTT, if you recall from the watch list yesterday, this was pretty much to a T within a couple pennies. I mean, I was looking for weak opens versus those 180s. I was looking for a pullback, lower high, and a break of that lower high, and that was the only way I was going to trade this as a bounce. I put on super small, couple hundred shares here off the open, and took that off. It was just a placeholder. But once we start to break and hit my trigger, then I really start to scale into that trade. Risk off of lows. I've got a set stop, and now I'm looking for 250 at the minimum, and starts trending nicely. Volume starts to come in. I'm looking for this to start to speed up into that 250 to 3 range, back into prior pre-market levels. And it doesn't get going, and then I give it as much time as I could. I stayed on desk a bit later today, until after 11. Usually I'm getting off around 10:45 to 11, and this thing, it just wasn't getting going, and I knew I couldn't be on my computer today, so I took it off. Ended up going into those 280s by the end of the day. Would have had to be really patient on it. But again, just not on the time frame that I was expecting. Pony took a decent loss on this one today. That was that 640 failed fall through level. Felt like had decent odds of a breakdown, and tried it 2 times. We got a flush off the open. I hit it with chase size with wide risk. We got a bounce, so I scaled in and used high days of risk. Once I add here through lows, I moved risk to this lower high, thinking VWAP should stay heavy. It swipes me out, so I cover. Then we get a swipe and stuff, so I hit it again, scale through 1640s. Pops aren't reclaiming, so 1640s is staying heavy. And then just thins right up and stops me out again. So took 2 full-size losses on that one, and that added up, unfortunately. Right back to where I was short, so it could still gap down and continue lower tomorrow, but now I'm out of the trade, and again, just wrong timing. Right place, wrong time. QBTS, fairly frustrating. A-grade setup in my books, where you've got this big multi-month aligning with a multi-day breakout. I buy again, chase size right through that 1160s, which was the trigger I had mentioned yesterday. We get a pullback, higher low. I scale, full size now versus low a day risk. Lock in 1-to-1 risk reward. It was straight up, a bit unhealthy price action. So I locked in half. Rebought back into the breakout level, rebought back into the 1160s. So now I have my original position and risking the lows, and then end up getting stopped. So I turned a winner into a loser. Ended up red on this one. And then UNH was the cherry on top, where I wasn't looking to dip by it necessarily, but once we got the gap down, followed by a morning panic, I felt like this was just too good of an op to pass up. So I waited for what I felt like was the right side of the V, where you get this pull, low a day break, higher low gets set, and I was looking at the 5-minute here. Each 5-minute candle, lower, 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 lower. Right here was the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, so I buy the next pullback, get stopped under low a day, and I was one dip too early, where if I was in here on the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, then it just goes steady highs. So it had one more shakeout, and very frustrating because this was a swing idea. If I was in there, I didn't have a plan on selling it today, as long as it held the low a day. So I technically would have been swinging it. So I'll look and see if we get any weak opens. It seems like all negative news possible came out in the last few days. The RSI is at 12. I don't think I've ever seen a stock with a 12 RSI. So in very, very oversold territory. Could go lower, but I think that was most of the panic coming out there today, especially with the DOJ probe and negative news. So those are my trades from today. I was right ideas, just didn't time them very well. My typical entries into prior bar highs or opening range breaks, they just didn't work. Kidley had a bounce today as well. Someone had mentioned that on the scan yesterday. Pops off the opening range highs right through here in the 940s. Risk reward not great. An opening range high break with risk on low a day has a $1.40. So not great risk reward. Would have worked, but is what it is. Excuse me. I'm looking through scan again. And typically when I'm having to look this hard, the setups aren't that good anyways. So you see, what was that one? IXHL? What was it? IXHL? Was that it? Yeah. They got smoked there midday, put out an 8K. Filing came out, got hit goddamn hard. I was hoping it was going to chop around and get like a T+1 tomorrow. But once that filing came out, that thing got smoked. I think I still want to trade Pony. I think the setup is still there. I just don't know what the proper risk level is because it continues to chop me out. Excuse me. What else do I have? I just don't see much. Like there is a world where all of these stocks are bouncing back into bag holder resistance. Kidley, NXTT, ASST was another one pushing back into resistance, so they could get met with pressure, but they're just not high conviction setups for me. MVST could be breaking out. We had that straight up move. It's been putting in some pretty consistent multi-day moves since its reclaimed trend on this side. So it's probably worth a look through like a 340 break. Maybe starts to extend again. AYTU is just a percent gainer, but no plans on it. UNH, weak opens. Any like morning flush, I'd get interested, but I doubt it. I think it just gaps up and continues. Yeah, probably Pony 1640s failed follow through again. I don't know where this is going to gap, but I think the odds still favor lower. Just a matter of whether I'm going to continue to chop myself up before the move happens. But I think the setup is still there, and I think I need to give it another shot. MVST, maybe another breakout. UNH, weak opens, red to green. Probably all I really got. When Kidley broke that 5-minute low at 828 and stop loss would have got triggered, would you have still considered buying it again after it broke high a day at 930s? When Kidley broke that 5-minute low at 828. So it sets its high a day, consolidates for 1 minute and breaks out, and then sets its high a day at 933 and then breaks out at 957. So you could have argued with that 920 entry and 828 risk. I guess that's a bit of consolidation. Technically speaking, it didn't have a 5-minute consolidation. Like you can see it just, if you go to a 5-minute chart, it just went higher, where this looks way different than NXTT when I'm buying it here. So market opens is right here, right at like 210-ish is the high, and you can see it consolidated all the way until 10:15 before breaking. So if you're actually waiting for that consolidation levels to set up, it doesn't look like this. The entry is here, but the risk reward is just trash. That's why I didn't take it. $1.40 of risk on a $9 name is not what I'm looking to risk. That's why I chose NXTT, because I can get a $2 average, risk 15 cents, and at 250, which was the low end of the goal, I'm up 50 cents, risking 15. That's already a 3-to-1. At $3, I'm up $1 on 15 cents is 15, 36, 6.5 to 1 at $3. So the risk reward was just much better here. So yeah, likely a couple names, similar names to what I've been trading lately, but just not super high conviction ideas. So likely will be a slower day for me. I just saw somebody mention this one in IU. They were thinking it could bounce. Don't hate the idea. It's only trading 1 million shares. Went steady highs all day today. Yeah, not really that great. It could bounce, but meh. What else? What's everybody talking about these illiquid names for? I saw a swing thesis on Rocket Lab this evening. Not a terrible looking chart here. Because I think this is like with ACHR and stuff. So that sector is getting going with the aerospace names. Rocket Lab probably plays a bit of catch up. Not much for blue either. Yeah. Yep. It's okay. One day. Is it a long weekend in the States? We have a long weekend in Canada. Is it a long weekend for the Americans too? Where Monday is a holiday? Let me see. 2025. May 26th is your long weekend. Which is that next weekend? Yeah. Not this coming Monday, next Monday. So, Monday market is open, but it's a holiday for us in Canada. I don't even know what the holiday is. Victoria Day. So it's the capital. The British Columbia capital city, Victoria. That's what it's for. Next weekend, Memorial Day. Gotcha. Alrighty. Well, I didn't plan on chit-chatting too much. It was I don't think there's a ton to review. A bunch of the ideas worked, just in the wrong time. UNH, NXTT, Pony inevitably failed. CTMX I was wrong. GRYP I was right. It inevitably failed, just wrong timing. QBTS failed, I was wrong there. But yeah, it is what it is. I think it was right idea, just a bit of a choppier day than I expected. So I will wrap it up there. No problem, Chris. Happy to do it. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you on the next one. Take it easy, guys. Peace.